I could not stand the king in these chapters. He was a
No,
total
he,
ass. He was a total ass. And like I understand, he's dying, he's freaking out, he needs to break these curses, but he did not need to be a dick. You picked her.
yeah,
You picked her. You don't need to be a dick.
should have known she was going to ask questions. She was going to want information. Just, you know, it was expected. He could have definitely treated her better. He showed his arrogance, just being a full on dick.
Mm-hmm. Um, I was totally wrong on my guesses with the pairing. I was totally wrong who the other pairs were. But now that I know who the pairs are, I kind of have a theory-ish or what I think, like my opinion on it. And then I felt these were more of an info dump. Like we had a couple parts that were exciting. I think these were more filler and info dump chapters.
I like that we got more information though, um, especially in the last two chapters for this episode. Um, I like the information that we got as far as um, like where her home would have been
Mm-hmm.
on Lightlark. And I have a theory, thought, idea with that when we come to it.
Ooh, so do I. See if we have like the same thing going.
Um, the So we open chapter 22 when Oro comes to talk to her and she thinks that it's Celeste.
Yeah.
She's hesitant on letting him in her room because she's got all of her little sneaky toys and stuff like that that could definitely give away her plan.
Yes. Going back to when I was wrong about my guesses, Celeste is with Cleo. And to me, that is bad. That is bad. Very
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
And Grim is paired with Azul. The king did want to make that deal. The deal with her. He needs knowledge on the nature. In return,
Makes
he'll
me
try to
think,
protect her.
which makes me think that he either decided it before she came to the Isles or came to the mainland, or he decided after they all got together and he kind of seen what she was capable of that he was going to try to partner with her for her knowledge
I wonder
because
if
of
it
who she
was.
is.
I wonder if it was before because he was been searching since the last one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I definitely think that he's been plotting that for a while.
Oh yeah, that
Um,
probably. I like though how she called him out for thinking she was disgusting. Like thinking
yeah.
that she disgusted him and she called him out on that.
Mm-hmm.
And that she pretty much sticks up for herself. And that's good. And
Oh, for sure.
then she'll only accept his deal if she's allowed to choose another realm to save.
Which I
Not
think is
given.
nice to honor her friendship with Celeste.
I
Then
still
that
don't
way, if
trust
they
it.
can't find Bondbreaker,
Mm-hmm.
then if they can break the curses a different way, then she's kind of got it in her pocket that Celeste isn't going to be the end of her line.
I just, I still don't trust her. I do not trust her at all. Um, Now
I'm
this was
still on the
interesting.
fence about it. I'm still on the fence about it. Like, I can see it playing out the way that you described it and stuff, and using her the same way that, he's using her for knowledge and everything. But at the same time, maybe she is just being genuine. Like,
The way I see it, and I know if I put this in my notes or not, and I may put it in later, is they're the two weakest. If they were paired up together, Celeste could be like, okay, I'm not gonna die. You're gonna die. And like make sure she was the one that everybody came after while she's protecting herself.
yeah,
That's how I saw it. Um, what
could
I found,
definitely be pretty deceitful and something that could play
well,
out.
and I do believe I do have this in my notes somewhere, is the way I also see it is if them two were paired together, because Celeste wouldn't be able to take on the older ones. She can protect herself because she has power, so feed Isla to them.
Yeah,
It's kind of how I seen it as well.
makes sense. I'm, I don't know. I'm just still on the fence about it. Like, I don't know. I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt.
And I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong.
Yeah.
But that is how I feel though. I did like, or I guess not really like, but thought was interesting was that during their excursion, no one's allowed to know that she's the wildling ruler because Lightlark doesn't like her
Mm-hmm.
due to the ancient creatures believed that they were abandoned 500 years ago. And if they know that she's there, they'll attack her. I'm hoping
I
soon we
wonder
find
why. Go ahead. Keep going.
I'm hoping soon that we find out more about these ancient creatures.
Me too. Me too. Because I want to know why they were led to believe that they were abandoned, but she was taught that they fled just like everybody else. So why is there two different stories about how all of that went down? The creatures feel like they were abandoned. Like, were they led to believe that they were abandoned to turn them against them? Did they feel that because of their, like, who they are, um, that they should have stayed, and the people that they counted on just, essentially did abandon them for the greater good of their people? Um, but I feel like my opinion on that would be like there's a little bit of deceit that's on either side of those.
Right.
Is that one of those things that got lost to where maybe they did abandon them and they changed it to make them look good or something?
Yeah, that could also be. And I like how he can't sense her abilities, so he thinks that she's cloaking them, which is the good thing, so that way nobody knows when they're on their excursions
Yeah.
that who she is. Although I'm pretty sure later on they know who she is when we get to the bushes.
Yeah. I think so too.
Um Going into chapter 23 again, Oro is a complete dick to her. I cannot stand him in these chapters. Um the night that Oro came to see Isla, he wanted to start his research, so they were heading towards the storm. Which I'm still confused about the storm. I know a little bit later that we find out that it's the curse of the island, but it's temporarily subdued. So it doesn't move, it's just stuck where it's at. But why?
So when
Why
the
isn't it
island
moving?
disappears is be so the way I kind of pictured it is when the centennial is happening, it's kind of like on a break. Like it's there, but it's
Um,
paused so the island could be accessible.
Mm.
And
But what happens
when
when
it's
it's not there?
happening, the storm is like roaring and it's like cloaking the island, is kind of how I interpreted it or like pictured it when they talk about
Oh.
it.
So like when it
Uh,
disappears, that's what's masking it almost?
yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know. That's how I pictured it. I don't know if that's kind of what, like, how it was intended to be, but that's what made sense to me.
Right. We did get a little backstory in how the wildling new lands were made. After they had fled, 100 wildlings sacrificed themselves to create their new land. Boomed. Flowers bloomed from their blood. Forests grew in a matter of weeks, and the new lands was born from their bones.
That was very descriptive and definitely says something about them as a species. Not
Yeah.
species. God, they're not a species. They're like, they're a group of people.
And this is like later on about the rose bushes that they're also like they thrive or they were created by dead bodies.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, like, from what though? I want to know though why she's connected somehow. I feel like she's connected somehow to the storm though. Why is why she can feel its pulse with power, but she can hear whispers calling her forward. Um so that makes me believe, is she more powerful than she knows? Like, is her powers temporarily subdued herself?
Maybe it's a power. Maybe that's what makes her so different with this one. That,
Are you good?
sorry, I found the bumblebee.
What?
It's I found the bumblebee.
Oh,
It's
the
peeking
bee.
out of my mini blind.
Oh, oh, just leave it be.
Sorry, I got heavily distracted by that. I'm like, what is that? Okay. It
It's
wasn't
just
there
chilling.
like 2 minutes ago,
It's
so
chilling.
it's creeping out, but it's fine. I still have my fly swatters, so we'll probably have like a comedy section here in 15 minutes.
If it doesn't move,
Um,
don't. It's fine.
yeah. But anyways, Bluebird is her powers, and the reason that this centennial seems so different, something that um like she has to unlock, like when
um,
somebody's in trouble and it like manifests, or something like along those lines.
she
Does
has to like
she have
awaken
to
them.
manifest her? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Um so maybe they can sense that there is something about her. She's stronger than what she realizes. She just has to manifest and unlock her potential for that. So
Um,
I like that idea.
I feel like she's though connected more to Lightlark than anything. Oh, and this is jumping ahead, and it crossed my mind. I have a new theory about her and Grimm later on.
Okay.
It's like
I don't
it's there.
I think that they're connected somehow.
I guess I can't because it's not a spoiler or anything, but I feel like there's a history between them and she doesn't remember. And that's why he looked at her with the sad expression. Not because she's gonna die, because he remembers and she doesn't. I
Like
feel
a
like,
reincarnated something.
or,
Like
or I feel like maybe she had power. She was born with power. Something happened. She lost them and they kept it. She can't remember.
kind of
That
like
could
they
be
encountered
like,
each other when she was younger, like he end up on their isle or something like that.
I could be like totally far off, But it makes sense to me that somehow they were connected. She forgot like most of her life. And then you have Tara and Poppy telling her all this stuff and that she wasn't born with powers, and makes sense to me.
I'm struggling with not reading forward
I
more
know.
for
I
more
know.
information or Googling stuff because I'm like, who is this person? What is your
Hmm.
background? Type of thing. I can't do that because I don't want it to be spoiled.
I want to look up other people's theories too, but I don't want the answers in the comments
Yes.
from everybody
Yes.
else.
Like, yeah. Like
Um,
I've stayed off of like threads and Reddit and stuff like that to where anything could be spoiled.
yeah, I haven't touched any of that. We did finally get the confirmation that Oro is the one that saved her. And he's
And
willing,
that she had a head injury that she would have died from
if
had
he didn't
he
heal,
not healed her. Um,
and he's willing to save her again if she fell off the bridge.
yes.
Back to the storm again. As they get closer to it, the whispers got louder and were more insistent. And that's why I believe like she's connected to all of Lightlark somehow.
Yeah.
Like there's something special that she is connected.
Since it's a nature type of thing, could she just be drawn to it because she's a wildling and they're so in tune with nature
Oh, it could be.
and stuff like that? Um,
Yeah, because she says sometimes like there was a part in the book where she heard the whispers in the wind of heartbreak, like heartbreak and everything of
yeah.
like people that were there before.
I cannot sit still today.
Jittery.
Something. I just can't get comfortable.
My headphones are bugging me today. Um, they come upon a gaping hole that they have to jump down. Um, and this is where Isla believes if she fell to her death, it would be an easy kill for them. Like it was just part of the prophecy.
Yeah.
She does admit that she does fear death, but her most fear, or like the one that she's most of all feared of, is being trapped for eternity back on the Newlands in her room, not being able to live life. And falling down this hole was just a big test if she trusts the king. Again, he's an ass.
Yep.
And I understand,
I,
why he's doing what he's doing, but I mean,
especially
be a
when we
little
find out what
nicer.
he's looking for. Like, he's looking for like the power of Lightlark itself, the heart.
And then when we find
And
out what realm he liked,
yeah, it just okay, they were your favorite people. Yeah, I get that they're like gross and eating hearts and stuff like that, but they were cursed to be that way. It's not like they
exactly,
chose to do that. It was their curse. They had to do that.
exactly.
So I think he needs to give them a little bit more credit, more benefit from that instead of being such a dick.
Yeah. I want to know why. And this could be like the feud between the two. Why doesn't he want her to tell Grimm? What does he know about them? Like, he must have been observant to know that they were closer than any of them.
Could he think that there's something going on between them because of how often he like seeks her out? Like every time they're in the crowd, like they're the two outcasts.
Well, I mean, when you have
Uh,
nobody from your
yeah,
realm there, it's kind of hard.
yeah.
Then we find out what Oro's truly looking for is Lightlark's heart. Um, um, it respawns someplace new every centennial, but every time it blooms, it looks different. And then we find out that Oro is not the full power of
Conduit.
yeah. So if he crumbles, there's nobody to source the power back and forth. Possibly Grim. Possibly.
I mean, there is another half, so I think that might not be as bad. But since nobody knows, maybe he doesn't know. I mean, maybe it is something that he doesn't know.
I don't know, because all we've gotten on that is that his ancestor helped make Lightlark. That's all we know so far.
Right, and since they were pretty much shut out
Yeah.
and stuff, and like they left, of course the Nightshade's gonna be like, no, I fucking helped to do this. And the Sunlings are like, yeah, no, he did it. No, we're just not going to tell anybody. We're not going to put it in the history. We're not going to do this. So Oro might have been brought up not even knowing about it. So he might actually think that once he's gone, that's it. It's
Right.
fucking game over. But it might not even be that way.
Um. Well, he can thank the wildlings though, because they're the reason why, when they get down the hole, that all the flowers or all the, I guess the garden down there, was built by them, and it harbored plants from each isle. Okay, now it says with the heart blooming every 100 years, it attaches itself to a living thing. Oro says a plant, but what if it's a creature?
You know what? I didn't even think about that.
I
It
did
has to
because
be
he
willing,
just said a living thing.
host. Yeah, a willing and nurturing host. It's got to be. It could definitely very well be a creature if it's willing to be a nurturing host for it to bloom regularly. It definitely does not have to be a plant.
Yeah. I think he's just
Needs to feed off,
assuming.
it has to feed off life on the island. Needs a willing, nurturing host.
Because it's different each year and it blooms. I think he's taken the fact that it blooms is bloom you think of a plant.
No, that could be, that's
But I'm
a
wondering
really good
could
idea.
um but I'm wondering if maybe it could be a creature. I don't
I
know.
like
I
that.
don't think it would be a person. I don't think they would make it a person. But maybe it's one of the creatures, one of the ancient creatures.
It could be. I like
Um,
that.
we did find out that he picked Isla to pair with to identify which type of plants it might be drawn to. In this, how do they get the dead bodies? Because they come across dark red roses that seem to be humming, and we find out that they only grow over dead bodies. Is it like people that perished? Like,
It could be. I
or
mean,
like the
it would
ones
have
that
to be.
die of the curses? Maybe? They just haul the bodies down there and let them grow, fertilize them.
They were just people that died before, and maybe they're just something that doesn't die. Maybe they just like
Unless
a forever
wildlings.
thing.
Unless the wildlings sacrificed.
But didn't they go down there? Where they went? Are there creatures that are down there that could go and like it's peaceful? They die among the plants and stuff like that,
See,
and
I
then
don't
that's just where they go to lay themselves to rest or something.
see. I don't know because all it says was dead bodies. Like it didn't really go into detail. Just that they were humming. or they seemed to be humming like with life, and that they'd have to grow over dead bodies. So I'm not too sure on those. I don't know if maybe that's like a big clue as well.
Be.
Um, Isla did point out to a few plants that the heart may be attached to. So Aura decided that he was going to make a, or he would decide where they were going to start. And then in order for them to leave the cave, he had to fly them out. But he was an ass about it. Like, this was your
Yeah.
doing. You knew how to get out of there. You knew what was going to happen, but you're still an ass about it. But I did like that he could walk in the sky. Like he was on like a road just normally walking.
Yeah.
But he did not have to leave her on the ground to go back to the castle while he flew back. He was like a total ass on that. And made and made her fend for herself.
She wanted down. She didn't like flying, so I get it. Why is he gonna
But
like cater her and like fly her
he
to the
could have
castle?
got her to the castle in like probably like 5 seconds. But he just leaves her there on the road and takes off. Okay, going into chapter 24, I did not like the fact that Isla told Celeste about the heart. Because she's paired with Cleo. I feel like if Celeste is good, okay, the other option I had was Cleo's gonna brainwash her. But like, look,
Ooh.
we need to take her out. Cleo's gonna get her on her side, and knowing what we know later on that happens from the Moonlings kind of makes sense that way as well. Even though she had help.
I could see that. Well, no, I was gonna say, but after what happens in a couple chapters, I don't see her being able to do that to Celeste. But I could be wrong.
Well, her reaction to what happened to Isla was like, nah, okay. Like she almost like she knew, but she has to play the part of I'm your friend. Of course I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
I just I can't get on board with trusting her just yet. I'm not there yet.
But Isla does believe that it'll work in their favor and she can convince him to trust her enough to be able to see the library and not have to struggle to find clothes and sneak in.
She's definitely gotta get him to quit being an ass to her though.
I think he's gonna warm up to her. He's
I
just,
get like he's not like he can't trust people, but still, again, you picked her. You knew what it was going to entail.
yeah.
See, and another reason what makes me not trust Celeste is she doesn't seem to have faith in Isla though. Um, because Celeste tells Isla to be careful because the rulers will do anything now that they know Lightlark's in trouble, and she doesn't trust the king. To me, that's I don't have faith in you. You're gonna do something wrong. When Isla's
Or
doing most, because Isla's doing most of their plan. Celeste pretty much has only done the Starling library and got information. Isla's doing all the hard work.
she got the gloves and we still don't know how she managed to get those. But it could be that Isla's doing most of it because of her training. She's gone through extensive training, so they might feel it's more beneficial for her to do the majority of that stuff because she's quick and sneaky and she can defend herself, whereas Celeste really can't.
Yeah, because she didn't get the training to fight without magic.
So that could be why Isla's doing most of it. Um,
It
Honestly,
also
I think that's
wondered
the only reason that she's doing most of it is
what
for that reason.
the comment about the rulers will do anything. Is she warning herself? Like, is she warning Isla about herself as well? And like disguising it as, hey, I'm trying to look out for you. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's two sides.
Definitely be open to interpretation on what that could be. But at the same time, I'm surprised they haven't touched more on Celeste being able to get more information out of Cleo, be able to,
See what's with the Legion, or if like she's told
yeah,
anything about the Legion or the ships. Because then, like, this is what I was talking about. Like, is Celeste using Isla because she's also young and hasn't experienced the Centennial yet? Maybe she she knew, like, she has a better chance to not die. Like, she doesn't have to be the one to go against the older rulers, the older,
yeah.
stronger rulers. Send Isla out there. You make the enemies. And then we just get into that Isla and Oro go on their first excursion to Sky Isle. There was two places that housed the plants he wanted to look at first, which were the purse-like plants. It was Sky Isle and the mainland. And you're supposed to be able to, you'll know when you come across the heart because the power is unmistakable, but you can only detect it when you're a close distance.
And she also thinks while they're out doing this about how she isn't a true wildling ruler because the plants won't obey her since she's powerless.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
But I feel like they know it's her because they all react towards her. Like they
like,
kind of have like a reaction, but not a good reaction.
yeah, and I think it depends on the type of plant. Like these ones didn't.
Really do much.
No, they didn't react to her in a bad way.
But later on, we did find out she felt like they were laughing at her at one point. So it's like they know.
Yeah, yeah.
They did not find the heart, but the geek
I
didn't
like.
like the fact. Go ahead. Was it about
I
her
think.
clothes?
Yeah,
He didn't like
I
the
like.
fact that she destroyed her clothes.
Yeah, but she did it so strategically because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, how the fuck am I gonna know where I left off, what I just fucking looked at? And so she marked each row strategically, and it was really
Right.
fucking smart. And
But he was
like
an ass about it.
she she adapted and overcame the situation to where instead of feeling like she may have missed something or had to start over and work a little faster or whatever, she found a way to
Yep.
be able to keep going the next day. So I really liked that. I thought that was very, very sly.
I'm curious as well is how does he know about the heart? And like he would answer that to her.
Yes.
So how did
Yes.
he come to know about it? Um and then we find out
Is
that
that
he is
something that,
strong.
yeah. Is it something that is like being the king of Lightlark, like that's known?
Well, maybe like
Or did he? I
probably
can't
because
see
he
him
has to
stumbling across
source.
it.
Well, because he has to source to the heart. The heart sources him the power to source to everybody else. So maybe he might have to know that because it's part of him.
Yeah.
But we did find out he is strong because just with a flick of her on her crown, he dents it and sends her stumbling back. But I love that she got after him, that he needed to fix it, and if it wasn't for the fact that they were paired, she would gut him. And then after multiple days, they still came up empty handed and no heart was found. So again, I feel like these ones were like kind of just info dump fillers. And this is where this next chapter, unless you had anything else going on.
Oh, the last note that I had was for the chapter where Ella delivered some clothes and stuff
Oh
for
yeah.
her.
multiple of her outfits.
Yeah.
He's still an ass. he he can be
Yeah.
nice, but he's still an ass. Um, Isla had another dream about Grim, but they were
An
about to make
almost
out.
steamy dream. An almost
Yes.
steamy dream before she woke herself up. Like,
This is
mm-hmm.
why I believe there's a
Mm-hmm. Steamy.
connection between them, and that maybe there's history and she can't remember, and that's why he gave her that sad expression. It wasn't because I know something and you're going to be the one to die. It's because he knows what happened and she doesn't.
And even if it's not like a meeting from when they were younger or when she was younger or anything, I still sit on the fact that it could be a reincarnation type thing. That maybe once upon a time, like he was in love with a wildling or something like that. And it just so happens to like her spirit essence, whatever, was just kind of reincarnated into Isla.
And he has that like feeling and connection.
Yeah.
But he knew her name, right? Like when she first got to Lightlark, he knew who she was.
I don't
That's like
remember.
chapter 2. Um yeah, cuz she knew who he was and then he says, "Call me Grim, Isla." Yeah, cuz she never introduced herself.
Yeah, because that's where she says, "Have we met before?"
And he played it like
Right
if
after.
they have or he's just playing it off like they haven't.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I definitely didn't pick up on it that way in the beginning. I just instantly picked up on
Yeah.
like there's a connection. Like he knows her somehow.
Um the conversation between the king and Azul,
He's like, "No, fuck this. We're killing somebody. Like a line has
he's
to end. We're
he's
taking him out."
desperate.
He is.
He is desperate
Yep.
and it's either he can't kill Grim because Grim's he's paired with Grim. And we later find out that Grim is kind of essential. Nobody can kill Grim. He's essential.
Yeah, so I think
Um
that Azul is literally like planning it's either Isla or it's going to be Celeste
I
because I
don't
feel like
believe
Cleo's
it's Isla.
way too strong.
I don't
I,
believe it's Isla because I don't think he would have went to the king. He straight up told the king. I don't think it would have been Isla. I
yeah,
felt like it was Cleo or Celeste.
I feel like Azul would pick either Isla or Celeste just because they're the babies, like they're the weaker of the group. But I feel like Oro would not let his partner.
See, that's how
Like
I don't think it's
I
Isla.
don't think he would play a game to where he would just let them kill his fucking
And
partner.
they made that deal. He's got to protect her for
Yeah.
her helping him. So I don't believe it would be Isla. So it's got to be Celeste or Cleo.
And I
It's
don't
got
think
to
they're
be
going to
one
go
of the
after
two.
Cleo. I don't think they'd go after Cleo. She's probably powerful as shit also because she's old as fuck. That I feel they'd be kind of playing a fool's game to attempt to go after Cleo.
See,
But
I don't
I
know.
could be wrong. But I feel like I don't think they would go after her.
I don't know. Um, King hasn't been sleeping. So she accused him of working with somebody else. And that's when she brings up about his conversation with Azul. And he lets her know that he is the least ruler to worry about towards her, like killing her. And then it was sad because Azul lost his husband to the curses. We did find that out a little bit about
Oh.
his little backstory. Um,
Hmm.
and
And we
then,
learned that it wasn't a Skyling either.
no.
um, which makes her think about Egan, and I want to say it was Aurora or
Yes,
Aura.
Aurora. Aurora.
Um, and she has a thought about the wedding the curses had destroyed. So I kind of want some more information on that because I don't think we actually find out exactly what happened. We just know that they tried to marry two
To
realms together,
bring.
thinking that that would bring them together to do something with the curses, but the curses destroyed the wedding. So how did it destroy the wedding?
Is that the fence?
I don't know.
But although
But
the Oro didn't say that it's more common than you think for two realms to marry.
yeah. And
And if
that it doesn't affect the power so much, like they don't get both. They only get one of the powers
if
from
when
the
they have
realm
kids, yeah, when they have kids,
when they have kills.
kids. Sorry. um,
Then
Isa
they come and
learns what?
go ahead. Nope, go ahead.
No, no, no. Go, 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 go.
I was just gonna say then they pass Wild Isle. The
I was
Wild Isle.
kind of okay. They don't. He doesn't believe that it's there. The heart is there because everything is dead. But what if it
I have a
is?
fucking theory about something.
What if it is there? Is it about the place?
Yeah. What if it's there? The other thing.
You and me both had the same idea on that.
Like,
Come up. You talking about the bond breaker, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
what if that is hidden behind that fucking door?
Even though it's supposed to
Like,
be in a library. Yeah.
what if that is their library? What if that is their, forbidden
I had that
space
same
or
thought.
whatever?
It was either that or the heart. The heart is either there or the bond breaker's there, and that's why she can't get in there. That was my theory too.
Also, I have a theory about the door itself and how to get it open.
That one I haven't came across yet.
Okay.
I
We'll get
haven't figured that
we'll
out. Um this is where we find
That's
out that the wildling realm was Oro's favorite realm
mm-hmm.
because they pretty much taught him everything. They taught him how to fight and the little things. But once the curses happened, they are what everybody said they were. So who hurt him in the wildling department?
Yeah.
Who hurt him for him to like switch just like that? They can't help it. Like that they got the worst curse out there. Like one of them.
Yeah. And she's been worried this whole time about him making a comment about her using her powers. And he finally mentions, like, this will go faster if you would just use your powers.
But
Which
she can't use
I
them.
love her comeback. I love her comeback, though. Like, it would be best if I don't because it would draw too much attention for
Yeah.
the ancient creatures and stuff. So that was definitely a good play.
But why is he
Kind of
afraid of
throw
him?
back at him.
Why is he
That
afraid of him?
that's yeah.
If he
Um
has because um there was somewhere he doesn't believe they would attack him. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure it stated that he doesn't believe they would attack him, but they would for sure attack her. That might have
Yeah,
been back
I
when
think
we
that's in the
first, like when we first came across, when he
no.
first brought him out.
I want to say it's in the next chapter. It's in chapter 27.
Is it?
27. Yeah, cuz it's my
So
first note.
into,
It opens up
okay.
when she asks him.
Yep, that's my first note as well. But so why is he afraid of them though? Like, if he doesn't want them, is it maybe to protect her so he doesn't have to like interfere?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it plays back to being abandoned that they just blame the rulers for being abandoned. Some, type of deceit. I don't know. I hope we get a lot more backstory with that. Um, but I love how we open up this chapter, chapter 26, also with the thought of Grimm, Like she's getting angrier the
Yes.
longer she
And
goes without seeing
upset.
him. But she wants him to stay away from her.
They want to
But
stay
she's
away
so,
from each other.
yeah, and she's so pissed that he's not seeking her out, but yet doesn't want him to seek her out.
Because she's mad he's not seeking her out.
Yeah, like you can't have it both fucking ways, dude. Like either
Um,
you want to be around him or you don't. You can't have both.
she does ask, and I would like to know this as well, why Cleo didn't attend the last centennial. And he tells
Yes.
her that since they get along so great, that she needs to ask her. And then this
Yeah.
brought up the discussion that Oreo believes that Cleo will not kill her because she doesn't like her, which we later find out is false. And we'll get more into that once we get to that chapter. Your mic's not working. Get closer. I don't hear you.
Oh,
Now I hear you.
I'm right
Squeak.
here though. It's like right here by my face.
I could see your lips moving, but you weren't. I wasn't hearing anything.
Is it though? Do they confirm that she sent them? And I'm jumping a little bit.
She asked them. But let me see here. It's all right
Okay,
if we jump a little bit. That was
because
what?
they just respond
Yeah,
that
one of the men stated it
um
wasn't a game just for the rulers. They had families and it wasn't going to be their realm. So maybe,
yeah,
but I think it was just assumed that maybe she sent them, but it was never
maybe they're just
confirmed yet.
yeah, maybe they're just taking it into their own hands and like, okay, we're gonna fucking get this done. The rulers can't do anything, but it's not said that we can't do anything. Type.
But why her? Why are they going after her? Why not anybody else? Why not
Maybe
Azul?
because Cleo doesn't like her. That there's tension between the two of them. They do their little banter back and forth.
But her people
And
wouldn't know. Their
I don't
people
know.
shouldn't know. Um,
Unless they know she broke into the fucking castle.
see,
I don't either.
I don't know.
Okay.
The
Anyways,
king,
back to 26.
the king thinks highly of her, but still thinks she is a problem. And then this was interesting. We learned that killing a ruler is not the hard part. It's trying to figure out who has to be the one to be killed.
Yeah.
Because all realms are connected. And the king believes that's why the curses haven't been broken yet.
Yeah.
And then this is where we learn that Grim can't be killed because he's what's standing between them and great danger. But we don't know what that great danger
Maybe
is.
great picture.
And we still don't find it out when she even goes to Grim and asks later on because he doesn't want to distract her. So, what is the great danger that could distract her?
Doesn't he make a comment about not even like um that she shouldn't even trust him
Yeah,
and stuff with it?
um okay, Grim tells her they should stay away from each other. That's why she hasn't seen him. Everyone hates him, no one trusts him for good reason, and neither should she. Um and he says that right now the curses were the more pressing danger. So maybe it's like we got to take care of this and then we can take care of that type ordeal, one step at a time.
Yeah.
Um we still haven't gotten any luck on finding the heart yet, and this time Celeste wanted the update on it. So it makes me wonder, has she told Cleo? Like, has she confided that information into Cleo?
I don't know.
Because you gotta think that, like, I
Like, does she
doubt
want
Azul
to
and Grim is
update on the
making.
heart?
Yes, because that's the last thing that Isla told her about that they were looking for.
Or they also talked about her plan of getting closer to the king to be able to be shown the library, because as of right now, they think that that's where Bondbreaker would be. So could that, or was that the update she was looking for, or a combination of both?
I feel like if the Bondbreaker was in the Sun Isle,
Like, I'm
the
giving
king would have
Celeste.
used it.
That's true.
I feel like he would have used it. If he knows he's dying. If he
Yeah.
knows he's dying, I feel like he would have used it.
And I'm giving Celeste so much benefit of the doubt that I know my my like for her, my benefit that I'm giving her is just gonna blow back in my face. I can feel it. I still don't think that she's deceitful, but
I think she's gonna backstab her. I think she's gonna be a backstabber.
I don't know. It's gonna blow up in my fucking face. It is.
This is then we get into where the rose bushes attacked Isla. Once she turned
And
her
I knew it
back
wasn't
to her
gonna be that
because
easy.
no, because she thought the heart they were protecting something, but she thought it was the heart. But Aura said there was nothing there. But he did cut her out. But she she lied to him on how it happened.
Yeah.
That she had tripped. And
But
then
she didn't want him to know that they just didn't fucking like her. They just lashed out at her.
he offers her his hand to
I
bite
know, and I was
into.
like, oh, the dead hand? Like, was it like, like a dead hand?
Scary movie?
Or was it
Yeah.
like a dead hand? Like,
I think it was his full
just like,
hand. I
well,
think.
I mean, but when she's biting it, was it like the guy from Happy Gilmore with the like plastic wooden
Oh.
hand or whatever? Like, like it's just like a claw, like a hard club that she was like biting down on because its hand is dead. Like, zombie hand.
And now this is where Oro now wants to meet with the ancient creatures that he was so afraid of.
Yeah. Well, probably a last resort
I wonder
type
though
thing.
because I know he's finding a way to get a hold, like to set up this meeting. So like, they must be like top dogs if he's got to try to get a meeting with them.
Yeah.
And then the following.
Go ahead.
No, go.
I was just say I gagged a little bit in my mouth when I found out that he offered her his dead hand.
I thought it was like a cloth.
I did too, like a belt, like a leather belt or something.
Part of
a
his
fucking
outfit,
leather glove,
whatever
and then
he
find
wears.
out his dead hand, his gray, lifeless, fucking club of a hand.
He probably didn't feel anything.
That's why it was his dead hand. He ain't got nothing from the elbow down. We're walking around with like no bones and stuff, just whacking people, ain't no pain.
Looking like Harry's arm.
Listen, I've been there. When I had my cyst removed out of my wrist, they gave me a nerve block from the shoulder down. Worst shot you'll ever fucking get in your life, by the way. And I literally had dead arm. Like, I could, like, wave it. And then when the feeling started coming back, I was, like, trying to move my fingers and stretch them. My hand would just go, like, up like this on its own while I was trying to flex my fingers. It was the weirdest fucking thing ever. I hope to never have to do it again. Because, literally, I was just, like, flapping. Dead arm. It just felt like a weight attached to my body. It was awful. Anyway, blooper reel.
Well, that's kind of what it reminds. Like you do that reminds me of Harry's arm.
like, ugh.
Okay.
Like, how she didn't vomit right there?
She already had vomit down the front of her, and he pointed it out. Like, what was she supposed to do right then
That's
and
true.
there?
Yeah. I mean, I would have vomited from the pain too, but I would have vomited even more if I had his dead hand in my mouth.
Going into chapter 27 is where we find out that he doesn't believe that the creatures will hurt him, but they will hurt her.
Yeah.
And
And he
then
healed back. He did a nice thing. He kind of redeemed himself a little bit, you know. He
I didn't
healed
really.
her.
Yeah, but that's he's got a user.
Yeah, but still, he could have just left her to heal by herself because, you know, she's got her elixirs that they've created. He could have been like,
True.
okay, do it yourself because he's a douche. But he didn't. So that was nice.
But he's still an ass.
Of course.
No matter how many nice things he does, he's still an ass. Is he the Tamlin of the story?
Be backwards though, because Tamlin started out as like a what? Well, no, he showed his true colors from the start. He did because he
I
acted like a
mean,
dick, and then he was
going
all
into
like
like,
sweet and
you
stuff,
killed my
and then he was a
friend.
fucking dick. Yeah,
He goes in the house, you killed my friend. Listen, you set your friend up to
yeah,
be
really,
killed.
yeah. So he did show his true colors from the beginning, and then was like, "I've got her." But anyways. So is Oro gonna be like that? Like, is he gonna be a dick and then he's gonna be like, "Oh my god, I really like her," and
Well, she doesn't pick
then
him. It's the end of the
he's gonna
world.
be a fucking dick again?
Yeah, it's the end of the world.
Like,
Like, listen, you did it yourself. You were an ass from day one. You were the ass from day one. Um, okay, so Isla wanted to meet up with Celeste, so she slipped a note underneath her door for her to meet. And then there was 10 days until killing was allowed. So 10 days till the ball. So this gave her 10 days to find the bomb breaker, break the curses, and to get off the island. But on her way to, what is it, the Agora? Is that how you would pronounce that? The Agora? Isla was handed a note herself that said, "You are in danger." And then she caught a glimpse of a moonling that handed it to her. She follows this moonling, and then she does pass Celeste on the way there. My thing is why wasn't Celeste like on her tail right away when she thought she had lost this person, but it turned out to be a trap. So they trapped her, and it was a set of moonlings, and she believed Cleo had sent for the assassination of her. And that's when one of the men stated that it wasn't a game for just the rulers. They had families, and it wasn't going to be their realm. Sorry. But it took Celeste for a long time to like catch up.
if she maybe like took a minute to think and then was like, you know, maybe I should go follow her and kind of like hid around a corner waiting to see how things played out. And when she realized
Yeah, but
that
she
they were
knows
going
that
to
she
kill
doesn't
her,
have.
then she took action.
She knows she doesn't have power. I feel like she knew.
See, and I don't know. We didn't get much time with them after that to kind
Um,
of like talk things over.
they had her bound with water chains, and this is where Celeste helped her. I still don't trust her. Um, but it stated. Let me see, what page was this on? This was like 202. Her voice was surprisingly steady.
Have you killed?
Yeah, after she told her, or was this their kind of plan? Maybe Cleo and Celeste are working together. Hey, you make her think like almost like she knew that Cleo sent the people. Cleo sends Celeste to be like, hey, you just help her out. Make her think you're on her side to where Isla can retaliate and Cleo can step in and she's more stronger, more experienced type ordeal.
See that? Um, but then my benefit of the doubt still kicks in, and I'm just like, I don't know, since they were moonlings, maybe they just automatically assume that Cleo sent them, since Cleo can't do it herself, that she sent them. But I see what you're like, I see where you're coming from with that also.
Like
I don't know.
like
I'm
Celeste is using Isla, but at the same time Cleo's using Celeste to her advantage.
Yeah.
Or like you get me information. You act like her friend, you get me information, you come tell me.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how I see it. I wonder though if we'll get more info though because she did leave the message in the blood that said try harder. So I wonder if like we'll get like a little information like if Cleo does anything.
Yeah.
I guess like if we see that Cleo did something, well, it'd be an act of retaliation almost like if Cleo didn't send them, she's like, "Oh, well, she killed my people." Like it's going to be like a back and forth type thing.
Ooh, and she could easily set it up that way.
Yeah. So
I
it's
could see
like
that. Like you started killing first, even though it wasn't a ruler. Like you attacked my people.
even though if like she technically sent them herself.
That's a pretty ballsy move to set her up or to set somebody up.
Right?
That.
Um going to the chapter that we stopped at, Grim finally saw out Isla, and she's not going to let it slide. She wants to know if they're going to be
No.
if they're friends or if they're strangers.
Yep.
And then that's where we get into where Grim tells her they should stay away from each other. That's why she hasn't seen him and everybody hates him. And that she shouldn't trust him either. And then he doesn't tell her about what's more the greatest danger because he doesn't want to distract her from trying to break the curses and fulfill the prophecy.
Mm.
But since he wouldn't tell her that, she has him direct her to Wild Isle. And then she did state that the forest never tried to attack Grim, like with her being there. Like they never act like they weren't gonna strike.
Yeah. Like they were scared of him.
Yeah. And this is where we come into place and we see the place of mirrors. And that she does state that it was more than she hoped it would be, and it gave her hope that the wildlings can survive all of it afterwards.
Mm.
And I love that she asked about Nightshade, and he's like, one day I'll show you. I did like that. So I still believe maybe she's been there. But she doesn't know it. Because I know she says that she hasn't taken she didn't dare to do the star stick to Nightshade because of all the rumors and stuff. So she hasn't, that she knows of, been to Nightshade.
And like before he tells her that he'll show her one day, he looked at her for a long time. Like he studied her. Like
So it's either
he wants to show her. He wants to be able to do that.
there's either two options. There was a connection between them and she doesn't remember like he does, or he knows that she's supposed to be the one to die. It's got to be one of those two. But I can't see the wildlings dying
I think
for
we're
the simple
close to
fact
oh,
the nature. Like what happens to all that nature if they perish?
yeah.
Later that night, she returns back to Wild Isle by herself, and she says that she can't let anybody know. So she goes back to the Place of Mirrors, and that's where she recognized the spiral wall, similar to the where she had found the star stick with her mother's belongings. So did her mother hide something there? Like, is this another, like you said, maybe it's the library, but I feel like it's either the heart
Maybe
or the
it's
bond breaker. Something sacred or something.
yeah. But why would it be at the castle? Like in her chambers? Like, what is the connection with that? Did everybody have a spiral door, like mark on the door as a mark of the wildlings?
I don't
Kind of
know.
like their symbol, like everybody's
Mm,
got a symbol like a sun or a moon or,
right.
something like that. And theirs just happens to be some sort of spiral. And everybody like had one, but at this castle, their home like was their secret library.
Makes sense to me. I'm more towards the library than the heart. Like maybe that's where the bond breaker, because it's deserted.
I think,
Nobody's
yeah,
gonna know. And like I said, I feel like if it was on Sun Isle, that the king would have known about it, and he would have tried to break the curses knowing that he's dying. Like he
yeah.
has to do something. But she couldn't find anything. You said you had you have a theory what you think is supposed to
Do.
open? I didn't come up with
So
anything.
she pushes against it with all her might, expecting it to creak open with enough effort, just like the one in her room had, but this one didn't budge. She studied the wall and spotted a gap, a place for a key. No, it was too long for a key to fit, unless it was massive. So, by massive, is it just like too big of a hole that something has to fit in there? Or could it take a key as long as her arm to open said door?
The ones
You
in
know, like
Cleo's,
the
the ancient
key
relics in the
in the
Moonlings.
water.
Mhm.
So is she gonna break back into Cleo's castle and steal a key because nothing worked? Like, I don't know. I feel because, like, look, she used an old abandoned comb. That's not fucking massive. It's gonna be long, but it's not fucking massive. So it's not like a hole to where you have to put a boulder in it to unlock something. It's a long thing that would take a
A
key.
vine? No,
It's
well,
her
she wrapped
arm.
vines. Maybe it's one of the barbs.
A
Could it be
thin
a barb?
champagne flute, like a vase just big enough to hold a single flower. We're talking like a small vase to hold a single flower is going to be small and it's going to be long. I feel like those keys are going to play a part.
The
I'm going to
star
sit on that.
stick? The
Like, I
star
might be wrong.
stick? Could the star stick work?
Maybe. But I'm going to sit on my key
That's in
from
Cleo's library.
I'm sitting on that hill whether I'm wrong or not. I'm sitting on that hill for that key. Like, I don't think they
Hmm.
would have
It would
described
make
half this
sense.
shit in these libraries if some of them weren't going to play a part. A
Well, how
key
did
as
they
long
come
as your
across?
arm.
How
And
would
then
Cleo come across it?
that's my other question. Like, why the fuck do you have that? Do you know something that's there? Like, there's more to some of the way they described the items in the libraries that I feel are going to play a part into things, whether it's this book or the next book. I don't fucking know.
Right.
But I'm sticking to my
Definitely.
key theory.
It makes sense. I didn't think of that. Like, I didn't have anything in mind that would work until you said something just now.
Yeah, because she used all those objects like keys, and a lot of those are gonna be like longer items. They're not gonna be like massive things like a fucking comb. That's not gonna be that
Because I
large.
don't think there
That
was anything else.
mm-mm. Like all the items she described that she used was like long.
But how long for your arm though? You talking from like tip of the fingers to your shoulder? You talking up to your elbow length?
I don't
Like
know.
how what's the measurement for the arm?
I don't know, but I think
Because this is supposed to be like a foot here, like, but it makes sense it could be those keys.
I wonder if she could use the star stick to get into like how
Oh, to like teleport herself into there.
yeah.
Because she doesn't fully know how to use it. She kind of just used it and she ended up where she ended up.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is how did she know not to go that she'd end up in the nightshade? Like, does she just say, take me to such and such aisle? And like she goes?
Yeah, is it like she's got to be thinking of that to end up
Because
in that place?
she didn't know what anything looked like, so she doesn't know what she's gonna encounter.
Mm-hmm.
But she stayed away from nightshade. So how do you pick and choose like that?
That's why I think that star stick is also going to play
A big
like
role.
a part. Like it took her to Celeste the first time. Like she needed to be there. Like it attempted to go back home where it belonged or something. Like I don't know.
Is that the offense? The starstick coming up, missing? Or some type of ancient
Ob-
relic?
Objects stolen from each realm, but I feel like each of them would be guilty of something.
Unless
You
it was a
know,
certain one. Like one
yeah.
main relic that was not supposed to be taken and it got taken.
I'm hoping we find
Hopefully.
out though.
I know we're about halfway through the book. Or we are halfway, something like that. Um,
20 chapters to go.
yeah, so we're about a little over half. Next, we do chapters 29 through 35, I believe. I need some like action in these next chapters. Don't read ahead. Quit
I
reading
didn't read
ahead.
ahead. I was
Is
I
it a chapter
I
name?
try to take I try to take a post-it, one of my little stickies,
Oh,
and mark. I've done it the last couple times to where like I'll mark where I need to stop reading.
mm-hmm.
So then if I don't have to flip the page, I don't have to flip the page. I just flip the page and read the chapter name.
How dare you?
Sorry. It's called the Oracle.
So it's gonna be either one or two things. The oracle's still out there and they come across the oracle, or they find more about this prophecy and why the oracle did what it did.
I don't know, but we need to hurry the fuck up.
Okay, well, like I said, chapters 15 through 35 for next week.
We need to get through
And
this, record, and read again.
yes. So we have
I need
lots more to
answers.
talk about. I know. I want these next seven to be like info dump slash action. Give me
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But I want
I
answers. I need answers.
I want more action too. I
I'm I wonder if we get the ball.
I'm not sad that there's like no spice. I'm not sad that there's
No.
not a ton of action. Um,
Good
I
banter. Good
am a
banter.
little bit sad though that we didn't get a little bit more action in 27
The
as far
harbor.
as her fighting those guys. Like it was like, oh, Celeste shows up and like knocks them back and
Slits.
like she slashes a couple throats and then they're standing in the middle of dead bodies and I was
Yeah.
like,
Did it say how many
where
were
where
there?
was where was her like badass moves and stuff? I don't think it did.
Well, she was on the
But
way. Was this where she
it
was
just
supposed to be on
said,
the way to buy a new dagger, or she was supposed to buy a
yeah,
new piece of jewelry in form of
yeah, she wanted to just happen
upgrade?
upon Celeste looking for like a dagger or something.
Right.
But like, where was her badass moves and everything? Like playing out just a
Like
couple
when she got
throats
free.
here or whatever, and then like it sounded like Celeste took out the rest of the people, and she might have, and it sounded like her powers are fucking awesome too with what she did. But
But it seemed
like,
like she slit
I
their
want to
throats
hear
more
more
than
of
her
Isla.
powers.
Yeah, I want to hear more of Isla, like all this training and
Right?
everything like that she has gone through. Like, I want a little bit more action from her. I don't know.
We really
Maybe we
haven't
will.
gotten much.
Mm-mm.
I'm hoping in these 6-7 that we get the ball because we have 10 days. So is 10 days going to happen soon?
I hope so.
Because then this should get interesting with you can assassinate. But
Maybe the Oracle.
I feel like they're doing it wrong though. I feel like all six need to work together. Don't pair off. Everybody has
Yeah.
their own advantage, like knowledge, like to where they
Do
can
the
sit
pairings
together.
before.
They can sit together and figure out each line of the prophecy.
They figure out the pairings before if Grimm never was invited. There was only
And
five of them.
Cleo, one year there was only four though. I
Which
know it could
and
be
like
two
that
and
would have been
two,
easy.
but nobody died. That wouldn't have
Yeah.
been able to nobody would have been able to die. Well, who was the ruler? Somebody had to die that year. If there was only four. Because it would have been Oro, Azul, and Cleo. Because Celeste, this is Celeste, Isla's, and Grimm's first year. So who was the fourth one that year?
But was it ever actually stated that a ruler died because they couldn't have an heir before they went to the Centennial? But how did they have an heir after if a ruler died? If a ruler died, their isle would die. Their line would die. They would have already fulfilled that part of the prophecy. So I don't know.
I don't know.
These are the random questions that I come up with. I need more information on some of that. Because now I'm like, how did the previous ones work? Like,
Because it would
why
either
aren't
be
they sitting
Starling.
down? Like, why aren't they sitting down and saying, okay, this is what we did the first one? Or we already know the first one was fucking chaos.
It would
But
either have to
like,
be Wildling. It would have to be a Wildling, or Starling. It would have to be those two because Cleo technically would have been the fourth one if she showed up, and then you have Grimm. Well, that'd be four, yeah. So who? It had to be a Wildling or a Starling.
see, and I don't think anybody's died previously. I don't think anybody's died previously. I don't know
Unless it
why they're not sitting
was.
down and talking about all the shit that fucking went wrong in the previous ones and figuring out that
Well,
they need to work together because the pairings aren't working.
well, wait a minute. So you have. Because there's six of them.
Skyling, Moonling,
Yeah.
Starling, Sunling, Nightshade, Wildling.
So Oro and Azul. So who were the two if Cleo wasn't there?
Mine doesn't do that.
I don't know why
Do
mine does.
you have like the
I wonder if it
nitro
goes through.
thingy?
No, I wonder if it goes through my OBS. Whenever it's like my
Oh,
OBS
maybe.
reactions. Um, yeah, it would have to be who went for wildlings and who went for starlings that year. Because Cleo didn't come. Grimm's not there.
It would have
Oro and
been
Azul would have been there.
Isla's great grandparent. Cause or great great. It would have been like
But does the ruler stay in the family or does it just pick the next ruler?
see, that's what I wondered too.
Because with Azul's, the only thing, because Azul said that his isle can dictate whether they want him as ruler, but it would interfere with how the powers were passed down.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we know for them, at least. So how does the ruler stay? Like, we know Oro was family, and we know Grimm was family because he told his dad to sign the treaty.
Yeah.
So his parents would have been the rulers. But for everybody else, does it stay in family? Because you're technically not supposed to have an heir.
One of those like, oh, you failed, so we don't want you to be our ruler. We're gonna choose somebody
Boot you
else,
out.
put you
See,
out
I don't
type
know.
thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
We
don't
need
know
more
how that.
info.
Yes.
All right, we got to read chapters 15 through 35 and see what we learn.
15 to 35.
Oh, 29 through 35.
29.
My bad.
Yep. Yes.
We just read 15 through 28. All right.
We
So.
read 22 to 28.
Oh,
Girl,
Jesus.
you need to sleep.
I do need to sleep. Okay.